We are now going live. I'm trying to make sure all this is okay. We're live. Hold on.
All right, let me see if I can see it on Twitter. Yeah, I see your social chats. I see the window live now.
Yeah, you know what they say, distribution. But I'm testing this out. I'm trying to figure out how fast we can get everything growing, as far as getting the listeners and followers having a conversation with it. But how do we sound on Facebook, Will?
On Facebook, let's see. So it's a streaming straight to your page, social chats, or is it also?
Yeah, my page, and then I have it on my personal page too. But kind of hate it because I'm
social chat.
then I'm gonna tweet it out. And I'm gonna Brent. My guest today was supposed to be Brent, but he's here to end the space. We'll have to bring him up too because he told me he couldn't make it. So let's go ahead and start the space, and we'll say hi to Andy. He's here too.
I think we're on. Yeah.
Okay, I think so too. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, let me. And of course, the time that I have to start, and it's 4:03, and I have it set for 4:05 on social media, because just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody, it's Tonya Scholz. It's my Fun Friday edition. I'm here today live streaming with one of my closest and dearest friend, actually, Will Brink.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, we've been, there's my friend Jason too. Oh my gosh, see, this is great. So we'll have to get Jason Pellish up here too, so we can talk about things too. And Michael, hi Michael, how are you? I'm not giving the mic yet. I want to kind of do an opening with Will. So Will, I can read on all your extensive resume, but can you tell our listeners a little? And your new project, especially as a researcher and writer, you research quite a bit for different types of supplements. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about what you've done in the longevity field, but welcome to my chat. How are you, Will?
I'm doing okay. This is my second time on the show, right? Yeah. I was like the first person ever, wasn't I? Wasn't Tom and I your first guests ever, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I think Tom was on a minute ago. Well, so let's see. Background-wise, was going to be a doctor. I thought I was going to be a doctor. Did my pre-medical stuff, so I got all those sciences out of the way. Went to Harvard, basically night school. I guess it was night school. And a couple of my doctor friends kind of talked me out of it. And I sent some articles into one of the big bodybuilding magazines at the time, which was Muscle Mag. So this is pre-internet. So some people are not aware there was a time when there was no internet, and everybody got their information from magazines. So I sent in some articles, and these got published, and then I just went from there, and then started writing for all the magazines, pretty much all of them, and had some contacts with some companies to do some consulting work, and started to develop and design supplements. I've done some research. Also worked with law enforcement, tactical law enforcement. I've sort of done a whole lot of things. Write some popular fiction these days. Mostly like the rest of the world, especially with COVID. Mostly on. Well, I was mostly online even pre-COVID, but of course now I'm like 110% online, basically, as far as work and promoting. Started a live stream show. Been doing some interviews and some little of everything. Using, in fact, I also started uploading some of those shows onto Anchor, which was from you. That was your recommendation. And so I'm able to. I got a podcast on Anchor these days, which is getting some good views. I think that's that's about it. I mean, it's it's hard to explain my background, just or resume, just because I just do so many like random, seemingly unrelated things. In my mind, they all kind of overlap and come together. But when I say them out loud, they don't sound like they mesh together. But to me, they do. So I think that covers me.
I was tweeting. So, I was live tweeting, so sorry about that. But so you've been doing this quite a while. I mean, as an author, you've had like an extensive ebook. When I
Yeah.
first met you, I think we had our first dinner together in 2008, didn't we? Like you brought all these people to dinner. We had a meeting with Bill Falloon, the founder of Life Extension. You had like, I think you brought like 10 people, like these, and like these are like incredible longevity researchers today.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't the first time I met you, though, was it? I don't think so. Who was it?
Yeah, was it 2008? I think it was 2007, maybe. Yeah, it was.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but that was a dinner. So yeah, I put together a dinner for all of us. Which obviously I told Bill what we were doing, which was I wanted to put together a dinner of scientists, business owners, and just have a really interesting kind of networking, meet and greet dinner, which I put together, whatever, 10, 12 people. And Bill was, of course, one of them. And so I didn't like throw that on him and show up with 10 people. That was prearranged. Of course, this is now telephone trying to come in. So yeah, I don't think 2008. Yeah, maybe earlier than that, though.
I don't know. I remember you and I were DMing each other on Facebook, and that's how we started connecting. Because when I joined Facebook, my whole goal was to find anyone that was into life extension or longevity. So I focused on that, and so that's when all my connection would come in. So that's why and then we became friends all these years. So, well, you know what I love about you, Will, is anytime I come up with some crazy idea in social media and how to market and how to drive traffic, you do it. We tested out on your project.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I listen. Unlike some, I've always tried to make a real habit or a real focus on what they call in the military staying in your lane, which is I like to know what my lane is, what I'm good at, and then try to surround myself or listen to other people in their lane and not pretend that you know everything or can do everything. And so if somebody has something to tell me about a way to promote or market or do something, then I'm gonna listen. And if I can do it, I will. You know how it is. I mean, there's only so much time in the day you spend. You can spend easily all day long. But some days I do spend all day long just doing promotional stuff, SEO stuff, and some of that is if I do I'll put up a video and then then I gotta post it everywhere and then download it and put it on Anchor, and what I need to do is hire somebody to do all that stuff for me. That would free me up a lot of time someday.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I mean, you had a whole crew there that was like doing all that stuff for you for a while.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, it was nice. It was good being someone else's mentor and teaching the younger generation how to do digital media.
Mm-hmm.
But but then once they kind of understand what they're talking about, they how it is.
Yeah,
they get crazy. But so I want to also talk a little bit about your new project and ask you about how social media is helping you at all, promoting it, and how you're getting people to find out more about yourself and your brand. Because Brink Zone is an incredible website. Brinkzone.com because you can find all kind of stories. I mean, you've been blogging. How many years have you been blogging on that website? I mean, that's some really good
pretty much since the internet started. I mean, I was a very early adopter of the internet, luckily for me. So whenever we officially could actually get a website up, whatever that was, I don't know how long are we talking about? 2000-ish, little on before. When is the internet really existed that you could actually put away, whatever that was?
Let me bring up Jason, maybe if I'm gonna invite Jason.
I don't
Jason
know.
will tell us.
Late 90s? Is that about when we could like actually have like
Probably.
an internet was a real thing?
Definitely in the 90s.
Yeah, I even had a section. I know there's a website you can go to that will actually show every like a website, every version of it. Like it's called something like Wayback Machine or Wayback something.com. But you can basically go look at the dates and the way like a website progressed and looked all the way through its entire time. And I go back and look at that, my original website. It's pretty, boy, it's so funny looking and clunky looking, you know.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
I hear you. I don't
What
know.
year were you talking about?
Tonya, can you hear him?
Yeah,
Hey,
I can hear
Will.
him. I had to change that. I was saying, when was the internet founded, Jason? This is Jason Pellish, everyone. Jason and I used to do a show called Social Chats Locals, where we promote local businesses. But I interviewed him a couple weeks ago on Twitter Spaces, and I don't know. I've been trying to get him to like check it out some more. So here he is today. So when was? Hey, how's it
Will.
going?
Hey, Tonya.
Hey.
So the internet really emerged in a bunch of different layers, or became public in different ways in different layers, right? So there were a lot of people who were working on it, a lot of people who had it on a prototype level very early, like through the 80s, say for example, right? And then it became something that kind of rolled out to the different computer departments and different universities as a means to connect the different universities. And then after that, it rolled out so that computer resources could be used, like you could log in via Telnet to a remote computer somewhere. To us back in the day, it was just like having a permanently on modem, which was like cool because everybody else had to dial up, with like BBSs and stuff. So it was around 91 or maybe 90 that I was logging into Georgia Tech's computer from FAU to do molecular modeling because FAU didn't have, a strong enough computer to do the Mindo calculations that we needed to do. It was all our inorganic stuff. It was all simple stuff, but I mean, that was the internet. We didn't call it the internet. We didn't know it was the internet, but that was the internet. We were speaking TCP/IP from point to point, running Telnet. So
Hey, well, if you're typing, you need to, when you're not speaking, you got to mute because we can hear you typing. But it's all good. So let's say, Will's been publishing. Oh, I'm sure. But Will, how long have you been writing? Longer before the 90s, haven't you? I'm not going to tell people how old you are.
90. I think the first article I had in Muscle Mag, like first like real magazine, like not just like local paper fitness thing or whatever, was like 92, 93. I want to say early 90s.
Wow.
Because I had written, I had like some, like I say, in some of the local little like papers, newspaper type stuff, but I didn't send something off to an actual international magazine for like 92, 93. And then, like I say, I don't remember when the internet, like when the internet officially, like you were able to actually get your own website up. I guess that was like late 90s, right?
Well, 95 was when services like CompuServe and AOL started providing access to the web. What was the web? What came out publicly as the web. So that was like the first way that people started accessing it. And then independent ISPs started to emerge where you could connect to it raw outside that. But yeah, I mean, people were putting up websites in 95, 96.
I was I was really early adopter of the internet, so that much, which was good. And the owner, speaking of being out of touch, so the owner of Muscle Mag International, his name was Bob Kennedy, and I started to tell him about this thing called the internet, and he said, "Oh, geez, well, I said, I said, Bob, that's the future, and you guys really ought to consider, And he said, "Oh, well, it's a fad. You gotta, forget about this internet stuff." And then I started to actually print out pages from the internet to show him, and I'd mail it to him physically. And I could not get them to pay attention to the internet, no matter what I did. I tried everything I could because I knew this was going to kill the magazines. I mean, it was very obvious to me that the print magazines' days were numbered, and he just would not. He refused to sort of pay attention to the internet, and he never even had an email address. His editor did, and he would pass things along to him or print things out. But and as you know, by the time they even figured out how important the internet was, that it was they couldn't even. It was too late to even get a proper website up. They didn't even own. Somebody had already bought in their name, musclemaginternational.com, which I told them to buy. So there you go.
Yeah. A lot of those people, in the print industry back then, they looked around and they said, "Oh, nobody else is publishing. Nobody else is going to be able to publish besides us." I mean, I thought that about science too. I thought, "Oh, it's only going to be scientists, using the internet," because that was the lens that I was exposed to it through, was, just messing around with science stuff, doing chemistry stuff. So, I was like really shocked when normal people could actually get it, right? Like, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all.
I don't think anybody expected it to be as big as it got, but I think just about anybody that got on it pretty much realized that, this is going to be this is not going away. I mean, when you could instantaneously, at least at the time, what could felt instantaneously communicate with people, via email, and all that.
Yeah. I mean, when it happened, actually, I had a much more, I don't know, maybe pessimistic perspective about people. And I didn't think people were going to, be as curious to use it or to find it useful or anything like that, and it's really been it's been in that way a very pleasant surprise that, people really adapted to it well and like it and use it. And, it's really changed our consciousness a lot, good or bad. It really has accelerated things to a large
But
extent.
don't you find that now we're addicted to the internet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're addicted to having a roof and air conditioning down here in Florida.
There's a whole area of science and studies and neurochemistry coming out about internet addiction, specifically due to of course, I'm going to just went right out of my mind. The feel-good chemical.
Dopamine.
Yeah, dopamine. So there's a whole area of study now and studies coming out. It's because basically you're dopamine hunting. You get a dopamine every time you open Facebook, every time you open an email, every time you jump around, you get this little dopamine burst. And so there's a whole area of specific area of study these days that I was just reading about internet addiction, which obviously a lot of us, there's no doubt anybody who's a scientist like us kind of semi roll our eyes over on it. I know we all kind of in our hearts, but we still know it's a thing. I mean, it really is. There's no doubt. But it's it's like a lot of addiction, quote unquote addictions that, I don't know, maybe we have a hard time taking that seriously, but it still affects your life. What was that really cool? It was I think it was on Netflix, or was it Amazon? About internet, how Facebook manipulates people and how they, their logarithms keep you on and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it does it in a way that's, tuned down for normal people, though. I mean, if you really want to talk about, self generated chemicals that you get addicted to from digital phenomena, I mean, there's nothing that some, massive multiplayer online gaming where you have, hours of your investment or your base at stake and people are attacking you and it's real people. And, I mean, there you get some really great chemicals. I mean, you talk about a rush.
Yeah, no,
that's the best, man.
I played Halo online.
Yeah,
ton of fun. And I have to say that when my Xbox actually was no longer basically worked, I'd have to move up. I actually kind of use that as an excuse to just get offline because it was taking up a lot of time. I mean,
it does.
You could suck up 3-4 hours easily being online with Halo.
Right.
Realizing that, and it was just, I mean, it was a lot of fun, but
right.
when I realized how much time I could eat up basically, chasing other people around on that multiplayer thing. And I knew it was only going to get better. And now, I mean, the graphics are just unbelievable.
Right. Yeah. I was reading yesterday how there's this new game called New World that came out that looks, totally lush and, like the cutting edge graphics and all that. And something about the game is making people's state of the art graphic cards break because they're making the fans go too fast. Something in the game has the ability to address the fans directly, and the fans are spinning up too fast, so it's breaking the cards.
Yeah, well, I mean that's big money. I have stock in in AMD, and Taiwan Semiconductor, and a third one, which my SME, I'm not smart enough, honestly, to know that's where I should put my money. She does, and she was like, "You have got to buy stock in these 3 companies because there's going to be a huge run on silicone and silicone chips, and most of that's for for gaming."
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's an addiction, just like a drug. I mean, even probably more powerful than a drug, in terms of
Look at China, what they're doing. They're having rules and regulation on the children ability to use the internet for gaming.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were notorious in some of those massive multiplayer games. I don't know if it was Chinese kids or adults, but when you'd see those extended characters showing up in the names, man, you were afraid because they were out for blood and you couldn't even speak to them. They'd just kill you.
Well,
everybody was afraid of the Chinese gangs online because they're good.
Well, it was that way on Halo. I mean, you knew, you went into Halo in the multi-game player in certain rooms. I mean, you didn't last 2 minutes.
Yeah,
and they could do, because they've got these specialized machines and cheat codes and stuff. They can do stuff that you just can't do.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like the guys goes flying. Like their character's flying. Like, there's no flying in this game. How are you flying?
Yeah.
And but I would occasionally, there were different rooms that were kind of, you kind of knew, you kind of knew who would be in them, what level they'd be and stuff. And there were some rooms I would go in, like I said, I didn't last, literally, I'd like step into the room and be killed.
Right.
I didn't know how they even knew I was showing up. I didn't know how they got there.
So let me give you a little information. So right now we actually have 45 total listeners. It doesn't look like we have anybody in the space besides Andy. We are now streaming on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook group page. So, and the other people are the they call them ghost listeners. We have Tiffany in the space right now that you guys can't see her, but she's in here too. So it's interesting how when we're streaming now with Twitter Spaces, if you don't know the analytics or who's in the space, a lot of people would, think that it's not doing anything, but it is. So I just want to give you guys a heads up on that.
So people are like ghosting and not in the group, but you can see them.
Yeah, because it's, people can listen on the desktop also.
Okay. Yeah, I got it open, but I don't have the sound. I figure if I turn the sound on, it might cause some kind of like a feedback.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
you're
actually,
good. Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
I got to get back to cooking something here because I'm going to burn it. So
thanks for joining in.
I'm going to listen a little, but yeah, cool. Hey, nice talking to you.
Yeah, nice talking to you, man.
So, Will, tell me about your process as far as the AlphaJoe booster. And Dr. Kimo was there in here too, by the way.
He's using it. Him and his wife. His wife loves it, apparently.
You gave me a sample, but then I gave it to someone else because they wanted it.
But yeah, him and his wife use AlphaJoe, and they, like I say, he says his wife loves it. So,
AlphaJoe, so I remember when you were setting all this up. So what kind of things are you expecting to feel? Like, it's just
Well, it's just
Well, first, like, why don't you describe what Alpha Joe is in your first place?
so Alpha Joe is what I refer to as a coffee booster. So it's, you take a scoop and you put it in your morning coffee or whenever you're drinking coffee. And I like to say it just takes your coffee to an 11. So it tastes better. It just gives you, more mental clarity, energy. It's good for you, unlike a lot of things that, unlike some energy drink where you're drinking a bunch of, synthetic caffeine and whatever. But it's actually good for you. It's good for your brain. It's got longevity benefits, antioxidant benefits. It's very simple. It's a very simple product. In fact, the way it existed, it was just, it still exists the same way. I just a recipe that I was giving away that I used that I gave away on my site, which I still do. And people over the years just would always say, well, if you would just put it together and, like one product, it'd be, we'd use it. And I was just busy. I never got around to it. And then last year, or maybe it's been 2 years, but I decided, I think it's time to offer it. Normally, I usually do consulting work or product development for other companies. So I've never sold a product before this. This is my first like actual product supplement, not book or, whatever. And I did, my basic thought was I was going to approach the usual companies that I do work for, like Life Extension and others. And if they don't want to run with it, then I figured that was that's the universe telling me it's time to, do my own thing. So companies, just, I don't think they really understood what it was and what to do with it. It's kind of like, to them, they didn't know, was it a food, is it a supplement? To me, it's pretty straightforward, but anyway, so, as of, I don't know how long it's been, 6 months, something like that, put it together. And what was the recipe for people, just three key ingredients. And, there's sort of a full recipe to make with it where it tastes really good, or you can just put it in your coffee and stir it. But the full Monty version tastes a lot better. And I think probably even gives you a.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to your did you already tweeted it out already, the recipe, or should I go ahead and look for it on your website?
Yeah, there's a whole section.
Tweet it out.
There's a whole section.
Okay, let me
to.
tweet it out real quick. Jason just reminded me we should tweet this out.
But yeah, there's a dedicated site, which is AlphaJoeCoffee.com, and then there's Brink Zone. Just go to Brink Zone. There's lots of info on Brink Zone.
AlphaJoeCoffee.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, here's the about. Let me go ahead and share this out.
Let me make sure I gave you the right spot, but yeah. So yeah, AlphaJoeCoffee.
And you have the rest. Okay, and the recipes in here?
You can get it there, or you can also just get the recipe off of Brink Zone.
Here we go. Ingredients.
So I changed the name.
Is that the recipe?
Yeah, the recipe's in there. It's under the science. So actually, there's a number of videos on how to make it for people that want to. You can get it either place. So I still give away the recipe if somebody just wants to buy those 3 ingredients separately, make it themselves. They can do it. Still do it that way. There's just that's like I said. But over 10 years, people have been following that recipe, which I used to call bomb-proof coffee. And once I decided to make it myself, I changed the name because product confusion. People were getting confused as to,
do that other company.
Yeah.
That other person.
Yeah. So people are like, oh yeah, I know about that stuff. I'm like, no, that's bulletproof. It's a different product.
I got confused too,
Yeah. Well, see, I did it originally. Remember, I was like I said, I was just giving away the recipe. So I just kind of came up with a little bit of a wise guy title, I guess. My motto was bombs always beat bullets. That was kind of like a joke there. But once I made an actual product, like I say, I didn't want to cause confusion. And so I just played with a lot of different names, and we came up with Alpha Joe, which I actually really come to like. So really, I'm happy with that name.
Okay, I'm going to share this out. Ingredients. I'm going to tweet this out real quick.
But it's just 3 key ingredients, and easy to make. And like I say, it's actually good for you. And there's a lot of studies. Unlike, I being scientist and a science-focused person, I always, gonna have good science in my stuff before I offer it to anybody. Unlike there's a lot of products and companies out there that offer all kinds of things that really don't have, good science. It's pretty, if there's any at all, it's pretty flimsy. Whereas this product is not that way. It has.
Okay, I'm gonna pin the AlphaJoeCoffee.com ingredients where you shows what's in it and the three ingredients we spoke about. And I'm gonna say hi to my good friend Blurry, who is just incredible. I'm gonna give her the mic if she might want to join in, because I'm sure she want to know more about it. And Antonio was here, but he must have left. Hi, Blurry.
Well, what a wonderful welcome. My gosh, thank you so much. How are you all?
We're doing great. Just hearing your voice, you sound incredible. How are you today?
Well, honestly,
Happy Fun Friday.
Oh God, I didn't even realize it was Friday. I think I'm coming down with something because I feel a little weird in my throat right now.
Uh-oh.
But yeah.
These days that doesn't sound like it used to.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't feel those symptoms at all, though. It could be I was just up late talking too much also.
I hope so.
But I came in, I didn't even get a chance to read the topic, but Tonya is my girl, so I'm always around to support. And I'm new to a lot of you. I'm going to make sure I follow. Oh, and also we have to remind people that Twitter has a weird glitch that when you follow someone and you hit, how you get 3 options where you can not get alerted, or see video only.
Yeah.
Mine has been switching over on its own to nothing at all. So like this person right here, social chats, I don't think I've ever spoke to them, but I went to follow them.
No, that's me.
That's you?
That's my internet radio station.
I didn't even know that. See, now
Yeah,
what
we're streaming right now. We're streaming on all my station. We've been doing. It's been around since February 2010.
Okay, so all right. So just as an example, I didn't know that, so I just noticed. I was following it
Hold on a second. Hey, Will, will you mute your microphone?
Mute my microphone. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, right there. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Blurry.
So without knowing that it was you, I know for a fact I hit follow. And then I just went inside again because I wanted to see who was speaking, who your guests were. And it unfollowed. It force unfollowed, meaning it shows I'm following it, but it went to the do not get alert part. And I just rechanged it. But I've had that happen a few times. And I just figured people should just be aware that there's a little glitch. And if they may think they're getting alerts, they may not be by that glitch that's forcing it to go into that mode. Anyway, and then I got the luxury. I went into the green room yesterday just to see how the sound was. And I got a surprise guest by host Aline. I was shocked. So that's my only update. And I was just going to listen to you. Give me a recap on what y'all were talking about.
Talking about Will. I'll let Will talk because this is his product, AlphaJoeCoffeeBooster, and he's Will, Brink and I have been friends for decades. We are both he's more of a researcher than I am. I'm a broadcaster, but I finally got him to start doing more broadcasting, so now he is a broadcaster, but also he's a author, researcher, and he's a consultant. He helps different companies if they want to come up with a new product. He helps them launch or create it. So, hey, Will. And then we have Elizabeth in the space. I want to say hi to Elizabeth. And also, Udi. Hi, Udi. And then Mediza. How are you?
Udi's new to me. He seems like a really cool guy. I could tell by his name when I first met him. I said, "Don't tell me where you're from. I think you're from Israel." And he started laughing at me. So he's new to me, but I think he's really funny.
So is he from Israel?
Oh, I see he's in listener mode. Yeah, I will confirm he is from Israel.
Okay.
And I not only knew that by his first name, Udi.
I love it. So we were just talking about the Alpha Joe, and then my friend Michael's here. Actually, Michael lives near us. He lives in South Florida in Palm Beach County, like we do, Will. And yeah, Michael should try this AlphaJoeCoffeeBooster. And can somebody have their own coffee and then use your coffee too, or
No, just they use their own coffee. I might someday, combine it with some coffee, or maybe join up, with an existing coffee company that wants to sort of co-market it or that type of thing. That's on the possible list of things to do.
Will,
Yes.
as because I came in late, can you give a little recap on what this coffee topic is? I have never heard of it.
Well, so it's basically a recipe that I have that I and many of people have been using for many years, or at least 10 plus years. And about a year ago, when people had always said, if you were to put it in a can and sell it as a product, that would be great. We'd get it from you. And I just never really did it because I was busy working for other companies and didn't really want to get involved in a product. And about a year ago, I just felt it was time.
Wait, is it an actual drink that you're selling, or is it a shot of some kind of
It's
energy?
a scoop. It's 3 ingredients, basically a scoop. You put it in your coffee. So it's a powder.
Okay,
it's a
now
powder
I'm
type
on board.
thing. So
Okay, I understand now.
yeah. So it was just a recipe, like I said, that I have been giving away, and I still give away. That if anybody wants to just buy the 3 ingredients and put them together at the doses that I recommended. But like I said, people just kept asking me to make it and sell it as a one shot to scoop it into your coffee type thing. So I decided to finally do that. Normally, I do consulting work and product development and stuff for other companies. I've never really done anything like this on my own. I just decided it was about time. So this last.
Hey, Will, hold on 2 seconds. Udi, if I just DM you, if you could, I'm trying to add you as a speaker, but unfortunately it's not letting me. If you could step out of this space, restart your phone and check to make sure you have the most updated Twitter app, because it got updated yesterday. Just in case, because I'm having a hard time adding you. Okay, go ahead, Will.
Okay, yeah. So I see some things popping up. I saw request. It must be you requested. I saw. I don't. It doesn't come at me, but I don't. It sort of says tells everybody when there's a request going out and stuff. So I could see that being confusing. Somebody might if I hit it. I don't know if it would mess us up. So yeah, that's the recap of what we were talking about. Before that, we were talking about the internet and when it started and what it was for and all that. So this last year, with good old COVID, I've been focused on getting out the word about AlphaJoe and getting people to give me feedback and that type of thing. But it was just based on a recipe that I had been giving away and still do for about 10 years. And like I said, so I don't know how many.
You know what we should do? We should, although if this is expensive, please don't even take my idea. But it would be kind of fun to send it to a few hosts, right, that aren't afraid of, coffee products.
Yeah.
And it would be fun for us to go live, separately live, and say we're drinking it right about that time and describe our experience. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, of course, reaching out to influencers and people that are in the kind of same space that are interested in, nootropics, just the general category of nootropics is huge these days. I mean, everybody is from Silicon Valley types to computer gamers.
I know a Silicon Valley guy. I was invited, and I'm only saying this because if you're looking for that type of clientele, and of course I'm going to forget his name, but he's like a big wig in Silicon Valley, and he started to go live regarding these things that, those NFTs and the blockchain that I've just learned about thanks to Tonya. But he had me on as a guest. There was something like 4,000 viewers, and I got a little nervous thinking, well, geez, I don't know anything about the topic, but if that's the kind of clientele you're looking for to connect with, I always love helping people network. So
Yeah.
just kind of let us know what you're looking for.
Well, yeah, like I say, I mean, say the Silicon Valley crew are huge on nootropics, any sort of brain, enhancement, focus, mental clarity kind of thing. So
What about law enforcement? Are they allowed to use that kind of stuff?
yeah, no, I've already got even on the and speaking of coffee, there's a police officer I know who owns Police Coffee, and he uses it. He's been using the recipe. He actually sells his own coffee, and he has a review of it on the actually on my website on both of them. And so yeah, no, he's been recommending it using the recipe by separately for years, and then he started using the product in the can and recommending it with his other stuff. So yeah, we've done some stuff together too, a couple of small projects. So yeah, police officers, military, again, pretty much anybody who drinks coffee, so
Did you say you're on the East Coast?
Yeah, I'm in West Palm Beach.
Well, I'm on the West Coast. I mean, again, I don't know the cost of things. And so but the only thing I'm good at is, like for instance, LAFD, our fire department here. I know they drink a lot of coffee and always looking for energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know if you put together sample packets, definitely let me know. I can send it over like locally. And then I know a few LAPD people, but I don't know how this goes with marketing. I know that if I were to just say buy something, they probably wouldn't, right? So
yeah, well, I mean,
What
I
do
would
you
just
think,
take a look
Tonya?
at it. So take a look at the website, and so you get a sense of what it is and what's in it, and and all that. So you have kind of a background, and then we can.
Do you actually sell from the website?
Yeah, directly. Yeah, it's
And
direct.
so, like, how do you handle it? Like, let's say you get someone like a big wig over at LAFD, or like any of these people are just way so busy they can't even think about going online. Are you able to mail them a sample packet?
I don't
Or
have
how does
any.
that work?
I don't have any sample packets. I had originally, just because, like I say, the recipe's been out there so long, and originally what I did is I had some samples made up. I don't know, about 20 of them, and I shipped them out to people that I knew that I wanted to get feedback from, and got that. There's a couple of doctors, some law enforcement, professional bodybuilders. I wanted a mix of people because I've been in the industry a long time, so I know just about everybody. And
Okay, can you give me since I've never heard of it, but if I were to describe it as somebody who's never tried it, when they drink it, what's the first thing you think they'll notice?
Probably the taste, I guess. That it has sort of a chocolate. There's cocoa in it, so it has like a chocolate hint of chocolate flavor to it. Tastes good. When people ask me what it does, I said my response is it takes your coffee to an 11. That's it. That's in a nutshell. That's what it does. It takes everything that coffee does. It does better. So,
meaning energy,
mental clarity, focus. It's good for you, which is, again, I like to say it tastes good, it feels good, it's good for you. That's the trifecta of a win. That's what I like to say.
Hey, Will, I have a question for you. This is Wendy Earlbeck. I don't mean to interrupt. I don't know how to place a comment or raise my hand, but first and foremost, thank you to everyone who's putting out some really great information. Yeah, Will, I just have a question in regards to the caffeine content within your coffee. So what would be the typical dose of caffeine per serving?
Well, so there's no added caffeine. So whatever the caffeine of the coffee that you are drinking, whatever that is. So whatever the typical, a strong cup of coffee is, what, a couple 100 milligrams, I guess. I mean, like,
yeah, 175.
Yeah, it's on that ballpark. I mean, so there's no added caffeine. The effect is coming from like things like theobromide in the cocoa. Those are phenolic compounds that also have mental energy, similar to caffeine, but there's no added caffeine. It's very I don't even like stimulants. Like I think I did one dose of ephedrine in my entire life, and I hate it. I don't like I'm already like a type AAA personality as it is. So what I like about it is very smooth. It has a nice, It feels good. There's no like extra, jitters. It's not like synthetic caffeine. I think a lot of people are also not aware that when they say caffeine as far as coffee, that synthetic caffeine actually has a very different effect than caffeine found in coffee. The two are not interchangeable, and there's actually a fair amount of data on that. And when you see the studies, most of the studies on things like vigilance and all that and side effects are usually done with synthetic caffeine, caffeine anhydrous. So yeah, it's whatever the strength of your coffee is, but there's no added caffeine. So the effects coming from creatine, which as you know is a nootropic, and it actually on itself actually improves cognition. Tyrosine, which is a precursor to all of the stimulatory neurotransmitters like dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine, but is not in itself a stimulant. It just supports those production of those neurochemicals. So it doesn't feel, like I say, it's not like one of those things where like if you drank a couple of Red Bulls and you're all like hyped up and jittery, which I don't like.
That's terrific. Thank you for answering it. And no, I don't drink any of the nonsense energy drinks. I just do my coffee. So
Yeah.
Thank you for
if you're a coffee drinker, then I think you would love this stuff.
Oh yes, I love it. It was National Coffee Day yesterday.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
God bless you all. Thank you for your information. I'm gonna go take a walk outside now. Have a blessed day.
See you, Wendy.
Thanks,
Bye.
Wendy, for looking forward to getting to know you.
Yeah,
Welcome.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Tonya, you should have Wendy on the show. She's a nutritionist. She's a master's level nutritionist who I know. I met her. I've known her online for a long time, but I actually met her in person for the first time at the international the ISSN conference, which just a couple months ago. So yeah, people, you should check out Wendy on Twitter. She has a pretty good sized Twitter following and is always publishing articles and recipes and stuff like that. And she's a athlete. I'm not sure what she's I'd ask her. I think she might be like a trying to what kind of athlete she is. She's very lean. Like you meet her in person.
Hi, Elizabeth. Let me, Elizabeth, did you want to grab the mic? I'd love to hear your thoughts and see what you drink in the morning. Are you a coffee or tea drinker? But I invited Elizabeth. She's from Australia. So it's about 4:50. We got like about 10 minutes. So Will and I both have press passes to this weekend's Rad Fest, which it's a festival for a whole bunch of longevity people and researchers and doctors. I've been I've been writing stories and promote them quite a bit. Oh, there's Udi. Let me bring him up.
Yeah, I got to go look at the list of speakers and topics and all that. I just haven't really had the time to check that out, but I will. I watched the whole thing last year, but I watched.
You wrote a nice one too. You wrote a nice blog about it.
Yeah, I wrote a blog. I like. I tend to actually like watching that one after the fact because that way they're all done and I can kind of go like pick and choose. But obviously, it's more interesting when it's live and you're sitting there watching it. But, last time I think I ended up it was already passed. And I think I went in and watched, but that way I could sort of just do it at my own pace and I could pick and choose the topics that I really wanted to check out. But I do need to look at the list of who is talking and all that. I'm assuming that Aubrey DeGray is speaking again and all that.
No, it just started. So actually, I'm going to follow this clinical study where she's saying that people who have Alzheimer can be a good genetic testing candidate for gene modification. So I'm kind of curious about that. So they're actually running a research study right now. Or
is that
share that out real quick? Let me.
Oh, I forget what the woman's name is.
I know. I just went blank on her too, and it's horrible because I have a major girl crush on her.
She's up. Is she the attractive blonde woman, tall?
Yes,
right.
She spoke at women at the Church of Perpetual Life a couple years ago.
Yeah. Well, of course I'm gonna blank. She's one of my. She's a Facebook friend. I just remember her name, of course. But yeah, she's tall too. Really tall lady.
Yeah, she's awesome. Actually,
yeah.
I would tell you right now, it is Liz Parrish from BioViva. Right. Yeah, she's the CEO.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, she's really big on the CRISPR genetic technology. She was talking about that at RadFest about 3-4 years ago in San Diego, and she was talking about how that was going to be like the big, the next big thing that they were, you actually can like edit genes and stuff with this. It's a technology called CRISPR.
Well, they're doing it right now. They have it for Alzheimer. I think they have I think there's 5 candidates.
Right,
2
so
male, 3 female.
I'm looking at
I'm
looking at what you sent me so I can log in. And I'll get.
So the schedule today, I missed Bill Andrews.
Okay, so I'm looking at the invitation. All right, so I have to go and basically put the confirmation number in, right? Is that what gets me in?
Yeah, every time. Yeah, it's very highly secured because of
Okay.
the
So I need
content
to
will
put
get.
me in as Will Brink and then put the confirmation number you sent. So yeah, I'll go and definitely check it
Yeah.
out.
No, check it out.
But Liz
We'll
is
talk about it
great.
sometime
She's a
next
great
week.
talker. People should definitely check that out. I don't know what they got for attendees this year, but hopefully.
Well, they got a lot going on. I
Is it
mean,
going? Is it going to be live again next year?
no, it's going to be in person.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas. They did this year because of COVID. So tomorrow at 10 a.m. will be Bill Falloon from Life Extension. So he'll be speaking. So tomorrow. So Udi, hi, how are you? Your microphone works now. Welcome.
Yeah, fine. Thank you. I just wanted to thank Blur for that warm introduction.
Where are you, Udi?
I'm from Israel.
Oh, so you were in Israel. Oh, excellent. Okay, shalom.
Shalom and good evening. Good night, actually, from Israel.
Where are you in Israel?
In Ashkelon. That's the most southern city near the Gaza Strip.
Okay.
We occasionally get rockets.
Right. Yeah, well, I guess what's a few rockets between friends, right?
Exactly. Not exactly friends.
Right. Well, you have the very high tech Iron Dome system there.
That's correct.
Right. It's just which is based on the U.S. Patriot missile system, and then the Israeli bought it and improved on it.
Actually, it's an Israeli development, the Iron Dome. The U.S. government just financed it.
Oh, okay. So the Patriot missile, the original Patriot missile from way back is originally.
No, the missile, yes, but the Iron Dome is for smaller threats.
Okay.
Like small rockets, not missiles.
Not like the big Scud missiles.
Exactly, not missiles. Rockets, small rockets.
Little rockets and okay. Yeah, well, that's nice to have at least when people are throwing rockets at you.
Yep.
Udi, I have a question. In one of your posts, and I no longer am able to speak Hebrew. I stopped at a young age, so I completely forgot. But one of them translates a little weird, and I want to ask you about it. I don't think I want to ask you here because if it's a negative, I don't want to put that on Tonya's show.
You can ask me in my DM. You can send me a DM.
Okay.
That's
okay.
okay.
You know what? I'll do that right now, and I'll let you guys keep talking because I'm like, wow, my Hebrew may not be so good.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're happy that you're safe and alive and hanging out with us today, Udi.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you.
I read a lot of the Israeli data, COVID data, and that comes out. So I'm always following the Israeli data that's coming out because they produce a lot of good data that the U.S. is able to use and learn from. So a lot of, especially with Delta, I've read a lot, been reading quite a bit of science that comes out of Israel. A lot of interesting research is done in Israel. Much more.
Actually, we are right now blocking the 4th wave.
Right.
And it's going pretty well.
Right. Is it is still Delta? Same variant, or is there yet another one that we need to know about?
Actually, I don't know, but I think we will probably for different variants also, not only the Delta.
Oh boy. Oh well.
We need to take the 3rd shot now, the booster shot. It's a 3rd shot.
Yeah.
I
No,
thought you guys going on your 4th shot though. Isn't the 4th one in the process?
Let's finish with the third first.
well, in the U.S., they've only approved a 3rd shot for people over 65 and people with specific medical conditions and risks. Whereas I think in Israel, can anybody
Yeah,
who wants a
the
3rd shot get
FDA
3rd?
approved, the FDA approved it for over the age of 65,
Yeah.
but in Israel, they pretty much pushing all the citizens to get the shot, the booster shot, in
Right,
order
yeah.
to stop the pandemic.
Yeah, they've only approved one. Only the Pfizer shot in the U.S. is approved for 3rd shot, and only for over 65. Well, Israel is very high percentage of vaccinated, right? Like 70-80% or something.
Yes,
Very high percentage.
yes.
I think it's 81%.
81. Okay. So pretty close.
Actually, the former prime minister took a risk with these shots and with the Pfizer vaccinations, and it went pretty well. The risk went pretty well.
Is that Netanyahu or somebody else?
Benny.
Yeah,
Benny, right?
yeah. I'll give him credit for that, not for anything
Nothing else,
else.
right.
I thought he was a great prime minister for you guys. I really liked him actually.
Yes, but people thought that Trump was a good president for you as well. But I think he was good to Israel. I don't know how was he like in running the United States, because I'm not a United States citizen. But there's a lot of things that Netanyahu didn't take care of.
What
What's
was that?
Yeah.
What was that you think he did not take care of well?
All sorts of social stuff, like how do I put it? A lot of fights between political camps, the left and the right, not taking care of people that live in the Gaza threat, in the missile threat,
Oh,
not exactly
Udi.
doing something.
Udi, look at your DM really quick and tell me, because I'm kind of wondering.
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll look at it. Right
Okay,
now.
look at that. Because I don't want to put too much here on Tanya's. I'm afraid it could get.
Of course, I don't want to take none of her time also. So go ahead.
Well, Israel is on one of my bucket lists of places to visit. So I've always wanted to visit Israel.
Me too. I'm with you.
You're more than welcome.
Well, I know it's a small country, but it's obviously historically very important place, and I'd like to see. And I know there's some really good modern cities, and I want to see the. I want to see I want to see the pretty Israeli soldiers, the women.
Yes, they are very beautiful.
Yes,
and
the Israeli female soldiers walking around with their rifle on their back, walking down the street. I think that sounds very, very interesting.
Yes, Jewish women are very strong, I must say.
Yeah, and they're all in the IDF, so they all have to go through. It's one thing the U.S. probably it'll never happen now, but I think the U.S. would probably benefit from compulsory military service, like the Israelis and a lot of other countries, just about every country. Geez.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. When I was a teen, if we had that type of setup here in the States, I would have joined immediately.
Yeah,
Knowing I come out with like the most amazing training, I probably wouldn't even need a weapon to defend myself.
Well, you do learn a lot of,
Let's say hi to Tim. Because it's past. I want to be mindful of the hour, and we're getting ready to go past this. So, hey Tim, did you have a question for Will?
Yeah, if anybody has questions, I can answer before I jump off, because I have to walk my dogs.
It sounded really interesting. I'm following you now, and I'm hoping that your website is on your timeline somewhere. Yeah,
well, so my main website is brinkzone.com, and that you can find. That's just everything plus the coffee stuff and the. I think Tonya posted that the coffee specifically is AlphaJoeCoffee.com, but Brink Zone is my main site where I post everything and everything and anything. So I have a lot of different varying interests. I'm sort of all over the place.
Oh, it sounds so interesting. I'm looking forward to trying it out one of these days. Make sure the link to the website's easy for me to find because I'm not that tech savvy.
Did you?
Well,
did you
I pinned it. It's on the Nest under ingredients.
is it on the Twitter feed?
No, it's on the Nest. It's the second one. Do you see it? Blurry.
No, on my end, it just shows a screenshot of everybody in the room. I'll try again. Or maybe you know what? Maybe I have to go to your timeline to look at it.
Let me see if I can see it. Let me go to.
I think you should just make it very easy and just re-put the link up. Will.
Let me see. Can I do that from my side? Or if you're following me, you'll see it in any of my posts anyway.
Oh, okay. That's all. Because I'll just scroll down until I can find it.
Yeah, just go to my my page on Twitter and scroll down. You'll see.
Perfect. Yep, I'm following you now.
Because I just I put review. When I get a review from somebody, I put it up, that kind of thing. So you'll definitely see it right there.
Yay.
I wanted to. I just pinned something up. Thanks Elizabeth for sharing that with letting me notice that. Bradley Dinkin, he posted something and take the tweet on the Nest. That's the last one. So what coffee cup can you relate with? So I'm looking at it. Hang on, it's gonna get rough.
That's cute.
Oh,
I like
that's so cute. And then, love it. Well,
my coffee mugs are mostly sarcastic. So
I don't see my coffee cup. I need a very delicate, like English tea, tall looking coffee cup that's got like a design of what are those called? The tea roses. I want something very feminine, and I'm not seeing it right there.
I can always order one.
I love it. So everybody, thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate everyone's question. Hi, Brent. Did you have a question? I'm getting ready to close out the space.
Laura answered your question in DM.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to my DMs right after this, Udi. I'm so happy you're getting to meet everyone. Love and safety prayers sent to everyone. Tonya, thank you.
No, thank you. And everybody, make sure you follow Will Brink and Will.
Nice to meet you guys.
And again,
maybe I'll see you. Maybe I'll see you next week.
I'll follow.
Definitely. Thank you, everybody.
Avoid the
We're out of
rockets.
here.
See ya.
Yes.
Take care. Thank you. Thank you, Tonya.